Everybody, let us begin because today is an important day between President Trump, the meeting with Netanyahu. So I just want to start right off the bat.
Going back millennia, friendship between its people, Persians and Jewish friendship, liberating, building a temple, tribute given to King Cyrus, honored in Jewish tradition, despite the Islamic conquest, they continue in their relations. From ancient respect for each other, modern alliance formed, until that fateful year in 1979, the rise of the Islamic storm. For decades all suffered, regardless of identity, rhetoric of hatred and destruction, the result of an evil entity. Peace between our nations, restored to cherished history. Iran and Israel stand together, an end to the cruel misery. People stand together, embracing each other amid celebration. Ancient ties reestablish new beginnings of collaboration. A new flower blooms, garden flourishes with vitality. The darkness now withered away along with its brutality. Those who sacrifice, never to be forgotten. They mourn together, solidarity from within. The lands of Iran and Israel, united as allies once again. Praise and respect for each other, peace and prosperity will reign. The light shines brightly above, the hands of heaven reach below. United once again, as friends and not foes. Peace between our nations, restored to cherished history. Iran and Israel stand together, an end to the cruel misery. People stand together, embracing each other amid celebration. Ancient ties reestablish new beginnings of collaboration.
Good morning. Oh boy, there's a lot going on today. But, yes, I wrote that song amongst others similar. Hope everybody's having a great day. So there was a NOTAM for El Paso, Texas, issued. It's been lifted. I am watching Fox News on the side, just in case we see any information or when Netanyahu arrives at the White House. I don't know how long that meeting's going to go. I have to leave at 1:30, but we have time. But I'm thinking that meeting's going to be at least maybe 2 hours. Will they come out and address the press corps? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to take questions. I may be wrong. I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But there was a NOTAM issued. It's been lifted, cluster. They just lifted it just minutes ago. I don't know if I can go back on Fox News because I'm actually using my TV provider. And I don't know if I can go back and see it, but they just lifted it. It just came on Fox News. So it's been lifted. It was for 10 days. It's lifted. And right away, the propaganda arm was talking about it here. Yes. It was kind of strange. There was something that was posted last night by an Israeli reporter, and I downloaded it from here to the computer. Before I show it, I want to give you a little background about the context of this alleged leaked video. And I'm going to read to you what it contains before I put it on the screen. It is, if this is true, they are so busted. The regime, busted. And let me just see what else is coming up before I get to this. And they're putting all kinds of photos, the other side, celebrating Today 47. They even had an image of mock coffins, U.S. flags on it. It was disgusting. You could only imagine what they were doing there. It was, and I'm not going to share that, but you can only put your imagination to what they would do there. It was beyond. So let me go to just read to you. And maybe there are people in chat. I mean, this is disgusting. This is part of what they were doing in Iran. Disgusting. With pictures of servicemen. I didn't see any women there. It's just disgusting. Okay, let me read to you what this video allegedly, and I have the video. But I'm going to read to you first what this video contains. They lifted the NOTAM around El Paso. No, they just lifted it. I know that's why I said it right away. It's been lifted. No more NOTAM. Let me read to you what this says. This leaked video from a meeting of officials of the Islamic regime of Iran shows the regime's security strategist, his name, I'm not going to even try to pronounce it, attempting to justify the massacre of over 40,000 Iranian protesters. In the footage, he claims they were killed because it was necessary to purify Iran from non-Muslims, arguing that the killing of tens of thousands or even millions of Iranians could be justified by labeling opponents of the regime as enemies of Allah. This is sick. This is sick. They're trying to justify the massacre of people. It's a leaked video, allegedly, from internal discussions. Let me see if the video will work because I transferred
این
it.
فتنه 404
Yeah.
تمیز پیدا کردن بین حق و باطل
And maybe our Persian friends can further interpret it. But this is what the context of this video contains. I'm going to play it.
فتنه 404 تمیز پیدا کردن بین حق و باطل بود. کسی که خبث ولادت داره، نطفهش کج گذاشته شده، حرامزاده است، بالاخره از حلال زاده باید جدا بشه دیگه. کجا جدا بشه؟ کجا جدا بشه؟ یه همچین معرکه‌ای که پیش میاد، برخورد قاطع، محکم، در لحظه، بدون تردید، سنگین، خشن، اما مراقب قلبت باید باشی. از منظر من الله هیچ فرقی به حال من که نمیکنه، برد و باخت شما که من الله که نمیکنه. من چرا این داستانو دور کار من بود، خدا به خودش میگیره. من الله چه منظوری دارم؟ اولش اینه که من الله بدونم که کیاتون مؤمنید، بعد یه بازی اینجوری درست بکنم مشخص بشه دیگه. دوستان اینو داشته باشیم. میخوایم دارم تطبیق ببینم با دوتاش تو یه سال اتفاق افتاد دیگه، 1404 اون تابستون اینم زمستون. دومیش چیه؟ و یتخذ منکم شهدا. میخوام از بین این عموم مؤمنینی که حالا معلوم شد کیا مؤمن هستن، یک کسایی رو به عنوان مهمون خصوصی بردارم، چون یه سفره‌ای دارم در بهشت جداگونه، عند ربهم یرزقون هست برای شهدا. اون یه بساط خصوصیه نسبت به کلیت مؤمنین. باید یه جوری معلوم بشه که کیا شهید هستن که دور اون سفره خصوصی بشینن رزق مخصوص بخورن یا نه. کجا معلوم بشه؟ خب تو همین معرکه ها دیگه.
کجا؟
این فتنه 404 تمیز پیدا کردن بین.
So this is allegedly is a video that was leaked out, justifying slaughtering, massacring thousands of people, non-Muslim Iranians. That's what we're dealing with. That is absolutely disgusting. And that was by an Israeli reporter put that out. Again, El Paso is not closed. The news on Fox just said it's been lifted. I'm watching Fox News on one screen right now. And when they talk about it, which they will, because right now it's all about something that's going on domestically here in the country. But we'll keep an eye on it. And when they do talk about it, I'll put Fox News on so you can hear it. It's been lifted. And again, good morning to all of you. And hello, Muhammad. Just so everybody knows, there was an email change because somebody said that I checked all the emails and I appreciate all the emails. This is the correct email now. Make Iran Great 99 at yahoo.com. That is the correct email moving forward. So if you want to reach out to me, that's how you do it. Because someone said they weren't happy yesterday. They might have sent it to the old email. That old email no longer exists. It's been deleted by me. So that is the way to reach me. Ada, what did it say? Can you give us a little translation, even though I read what the Israeli reporter indicated it said? That's a good question, why, Petros. They're very vague. I could read you the article. I could actually show you from NBC News when it happened. But again, remember, it has been lifted. It says, all flights to and from El Paso International Airport in Texas have been halted for special security reasons. The FAA said this morning early, but it's been lifted already. Don't ask me. I don't know. And it says, no pilots may operate an aircraft in the areas covered by this NOTAM. And listed reasons as temporary flight restrictions for special security reasons. They didn't go into the details about why. It came in at 6:30 a.m. UTC. It will end at the same time on February 21st. Again, it has been lifted already. They did not elaborate on why the restrictions have been put in place, which borders Mexico and is the 23rd most populous city in the nation. But the NOTAM said the airspace was classified as a national defense airspace. Deadly force could be used on an aircraft that is determined that it possesses an imminent security threat. And it added that pilots may be intercepted, detained, and interviewed by law enforcement and security personnel. And that's it. That's pretty much it. So it's already been lifted. You can only imagine how the propaganda arm was going crazy with it. Oh, they closed their airspace. What's going on in the United States? Who knows? Maybe we'll get more information later on why they did it. Again, it has been lifted. What's up, Chaos? It has been lifted. Now, right now, Fox News is talking about a domestic case. As soon as I see something, because I'm looking at Fox News Live right now, I will put it on. Now, remember, I cannot show video because I will get copyrighted. Even when, because we can't take a chance. There's too many things going on for me to put a video on the screen. We can hear the audio. We can't put the video. The next few days, weeks, hours, who knows, to me is going to be very important. Very important. So I don't want to jeopardize losing the channel for a week, because that's what will happen if I get hit. You mobilized out of Fort Bliss. This is that is a training base. I have no idea. I mean, we can all. You have better insight than I do. I'm just going based on what the reports are. And maybe, Mike, it was a temporary emergency. I mean, I could sit here and speculate. Was the cartels planning to do something? Because it's right there. It's also close to New Mexico. I mean, did they have information, credible sourcing that said there was potentially some type of a risk? And it probably had to do with Fort Bliss. So who knows? We can all speculate, but until more information comes out, that's all it is. No, the Super Galaxy did not crash yesterday. It had problems landing, though. There was an emergency. We haven't heard TFL like this. It was something odd. There's no question. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't. Are you serious? I didn't know about that, Chaos. A reporter was thrown out of the plane from BB's for security reasons? Wow. That I did not hear. Mohammed, I can't show it because it's copyrighted material. We can listen to what is going on. You got to be very careful with that kind of content. Now, if it was clips afterwards posted, but for live, you got to remember, if Fox News is exclusively showing something and I'm sharing what they're showing, that's a copyright issue. That's not a good thing from my end. I saw it hit the start of the runway and then it went sideways and off the radar. Oh, so you were basing it on what flight radar showing? Oh, did you see video of it happening, KJ? An app is just an app. That's all it is. I mean, if you're depending on information coming from what an app shows on 3D and all that, that's not a great source. You know what I mean? Just saying. So like I said, we're just waiting. Supposedly, it's going to start in an hour and a half, approximately. That's it. It was scheduled for 11 a.m. this morning. So just waiting to see how this plays out. Now, we can check social media, but that's all going to be rampant speculation. And I mean, we could all do that here in chat, and myself sitting here, we can speculate, you know. Have you seen that the W-135 sniffer working west of Cyrus? Interesting. I didn't check flight radar out today. Is it even on flight radar? I'm going to flight radar now. Are they doing the meeting earlier than planned? Well, if they do, Fox News will probably segue from their live news feed and go right to it, I would think. Right? I would think that Fox would do it. Which is what I'm watching right now. I'm guessing it'll probably start later than 11. Everything never is on time. It's always, you have to think about arrivals, and by the time he gets to the White House and by the time they get in to sit in the meeting, it's usually delayed. Things hardly ever start on time. Let's see. You said west of Cyprus? Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, I see. Okay, you're talking about Jake? Let's take a look at flight radar. That's why I keep an eye on Fox News. So I do have Fox News.
And they said we don't recognize it.
I have Fox News on one of my monitors. All right, let's take a look. Jake 37. And then you have a C-17. I don't know what that is. Not available. It's not even telling me anything. Is the drone still up? I went to bed and it was up. The drone is still up. I knew it. I was going to wake up and come here and it'll still be here. That's an amazing... Look at that. Since last night, going to bed and waking up, and I said, I bet you it'll be out there when I wake up, and there it is. Still going. It's interesting where the focus seems to be. That is interesting. Gulf of Oman. They really didn't go to the Strait of Hormuz or anywhere in here. The Saudis have a drone up. Right there. Interesting. I wonder if they're trying to sneak any of those little mini subs out. Because that is a maritime surveillance drone. You got to wonder, why is it concentrating on here? I'm assuming and guessing and speculating, of course, but you never know if they're trying to be sneaky and get something out of here, and who knows? There's been a lot of speculation. El Paso airspace was closed because of potential U.S. anti-drug operations that could go into Mexico. That's what I figure. I had something to do with maybe with the cartels. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. Subs or mines, because they also have, I mean, they have different classifications of subs, but wouldn't they love to get those subs out to try to target our ships? Which would be a vital mistake because we would just annihilate them. And good morning, Candace. Oh yeah, definitely the power supply on that drone is amazing, Candace. Good morning, Sean. So again, they're on commercial break. This is just waiting for this meeting. Really. Well, that drone's been up there for hours already. And I'm not expecting to see the Italians are out there. They've been involved. They have been. I don't see the French. The French are nowhere to be seen. Even the Italians are out there. Where are the French? Of course, the UK. That was weird. Of course, the UK is out there. Where are the French? What are they so worried about? I mean, really. There's a helicopter. What's this coming in? Either a tanker or a C-5, because that's a big one. That's a tanker. And what's behind it? They just keep coming in. Another tanker. And another tanker. I mean, it is unbelievable. 7:30. Okay, that's an Airbus. Let me look up here. I keep an eye on Spain too because there's been a lot of activity. C-17 going back. Well, is this coming over? A rivet joint. See, people said, I haven't seen a rivet joint. Well, they're around. They've been around. They've been around. Let me see. What's up here? This one looks like it's heading back. A super galaxy heading back. Where did it depart from? Germany? Yep. Rammstein. It's heading back to the States. It's just constant. It really is. It's unbelievable, really. I've never seen anything like this. Yeah, there's a Stratocaster or a Stratocaster. A Stratotanker. Why do I always think guitars? So yeah, basically that's it. There's a lot of air traffic to be expected. Packed. A lot of air traffic. Even though Tel Aviv is busy. So I'm not expecting to see much here. At all. At least not yet. There's a lot of air traffic out there. So yeah, that's like the latest on that. It's supposed to be at Dan. It's supposed to be at 11 a.m. Eastern, and it's almost 10 Eastern. So maybe like in an hour and a half. Didn't Ted Nugent fly a Stratocaster across the stage a few times with him attached to it? I don't remember. I've seen Ted Nugent live in his prime. Hold on, Fox is coming back. Oh, they're still talking about that case that's going on in the country. What is this? Possible resolution very soon. What is this?
Praying for the safety of Nancy.
Oh yeah, Nancy. That's been the main coverage on mainstream media. And that's what they're talking about now. They've been talking about that like all morning. 6 Central Time. Is that what they're saying? It should be 6 locally in Israel. Here we go. Soon Trump meets Israel. Here we go. Hold on. Come on.
Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner ahead of this meeting with President Trump today that is mostly going to be about Iran.
First and foremost, the negotiations with Iran. I will present to the president our ideas about the principles in the negotiations, the important principles.
If President Trump orders another aircraft carrier strike group to the Middle East, like Axios reports is a possibility to join the USS Abraham Lincoln and all the ships that accompany her, then the American posture is going to be basically what it was during the heaviest fighting in Gaza. But don't expect another armada, as President Trump calls it, just to support toppling the Ayatollah.
Well, look, I mean, if the Iranian people want to overthrow the regime, that's up to the Iranian people. What we're focused on right now is the fact that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon. That's been the focus of the president's policy, even going back to the first administration.
And going back to the first administration, President Trump has been putting out the word publicly. He thinks Iran wants to make a deal. All of this extra military muscle could be a way to pressure Iran to make a deal over their nuclear program, especially since this president has shown in the last couple months that when it comes to setting, if he feels like he needs to set back Iran's nuclear program, he will use the big guns, the biggest guns. Dana.
All right, Peter Ducey, thank you. We'll pay attention today. Thanks.
If I'm working the case.
Right back to the Nancy. That wasn't much, huh? That wasn't much. I know, Sean. That's J.D. Vance. He was leaning more with Witkoff and Kushner on the diplomatic solution. The president is going to decide what to do, period. Everybody else can talk. On the opposite side, you have Lindsey Graham. Everybody can do the talking. It's the president that's going to make the ultimate decision. And it can't, it is so obvious what they're trying to say. They're trying to stay to script. If it's not obvious to you already, that's what they're saying. That's the message they're putting out. A blanket statement like that. Because they know there's no deal possible with these. They know that. They know that. And it's not just nuclear. It's the ballistic missile program. So you can listen to what they say, take it for what it's worth, and I should call somebody. I'm going to just call my buddy. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm going to see if... I'm going to mute first. I don't know if he's going to want to come on and talk. He's a veteran. He has people he knows. That talk about that he's thinking about moving another carrier... I mean, that's what they're saying. Take that for whatever it's worth. Because, I'm going to mute because I don't know if he's going to want to come on for a second. That's if he picks up. It's 9 a.m. where he's at, almost. It's early. He's usually up. I'm going to have to mute for a second. This is not Commander. Uh-oh.
Hello? What's going on before you throw me completely out?
I'm not going to throw you under the bus. Don't worry. So, from based on what you said to me, it does look like the Roosevelt carrier is heading there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yes, because there's, the president is saying, he's thinking about sending another strike carrier group out there. But from what your understanding is, there's already something moving on the way there.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted people to understand that because, you know things that,
Well, yeah, I mean, I pay attention to what they're talking about in these military sites, and then you can go online and research it, and then there's a site that tells you the carriers and where they're at, and both of those carriers are in the Indo-Pacific. The one that's there now is there closer, and this one was started heading that way right after that one did. That's kind of why I know that. So
if you can, email me where you're getting this info.
yeah, I can go to that site. Yeah.
All right, listen, have a great one. Call me if you hear anything.
Will do. All right, thanks.
Later.
Bye.
Bye. I woke him up. I hope I didn't wake him up. Yes, the no time was canceled. And hopefully they'll discuss it again here. I mean, they didn't even cover that long on Fox, which I'm really surprised. So who knows? If you don't think there's another carrier strike group on the way and he's thinking about it, you better think about that. Because that's the public posture that's being put out there. And it could take a couple more weeks. It could. Do you think they're going to tip their hand and tell us? But he said it. He knew he was live, so he said it in a more... That's all. And I'll see what if Commander... I don't want to call him at work because he's on a base. I could say that. I'm not saying what base, but... So even the other side, the propaganda, the NOTAM above El Paso was lifted. It was due to cartel drones entering U.S. airspace from Mexico, which have now been disabled by the U.S. military. Reuters. There you go. It was cartel related. I said it. Somebody else in chat said it too. It was cartel related. They sent drones. And they took them down. There you go. It was cartel related. Well, I think we got our answer. And now it's being spread all over the place. Another one, CBS News. The decision to close El Paso International Airport to all flights for 10 days was triggered by Mexican cartel drones breaching U.S. airspace, officials told CBS News. War Department took action and disabled the drones. There you go. At least that's what they're reporting. Reuters and CBS News. Take it for what it's worth, I'm just saying. And it's all over now. Fox is reporting it. ABC News is reporting it, the same reasoning. It's spreading all over now. So there you go. There's your reason. Okay. Enforcer mentioned last night that Roosevelt is at the end of their deployment, 9 months. So if they are being sent, those guys get no rest and R&R. I'm just telling you what somebody told me. There's questions about the Nimitz. There's questions about the Bush. And actually, I heard that a carrier that was under maintenance is about to depart and head out to sea. These are all things, again, you take everything with a grain of salt. You have to. You have to. Tussi's going on at 35. Well, today I can't watch Tussi. Not today, because I got to keep an eye on this meeting with Netanyahu. I'll watch Tussi later when I'm relaxing and eating. What is Tussi going to be talking about? He's got to be talking about this meeting with Netanyahu and the president. Let's see. What is Tussi going to talk about? Okay, subscriptions. Where are you, Tussi? Where are you? There he is. We are the media. Police covers up terror attack. Islamic attack in London school. Multiple casualties. Police cover up jihad. Wow. That, let me tell you, I don't know how people are dealing with this whole UK situation with that. Even just let me put it this way, I'll blanket it. Europe. That's why they behave and act the way they do, because they're so concerned about the populace of extremism in their countries. And that's why they put their tail between their legs and they don't speak out, because they're afraid of any kind of Mole, stop it. Any retaliation. And the same with France. And probably the same in other European countries. I don't live there, so I can't really speak to it, but I'm sure some of the people in chat can. But you got to wonder why there's a lot of cowardice when it comes to addressing the issue of Islamic extremism, because they have it embedded in their countries. Don't get me wrong. Here in the United States, I'm sure there are sleeper cells. But what goes on over there is just madness. Madness. And like I said, that's just my opinion looking from the outside But I would like to hear what people from the UK or France and other European countries think about what the hell's going on over there. Well, Tusi's talking about actually what's going on internally with this crisis. It's more than a crisis. I mean, it's horrific. Well, if you want, if you look at, there are people, and I was raised Catholic. A lot of people may look at this in the biblical sense, like someone just made a comment in chat. Yes. I can see that interpretation right now. What's going on now, Dan? What was this? That was yesterday with a C5, the 7700. I saw that yesterday, but it did land safely. Somebody said they saw it probably using the app, Flight Radar app, the 3D, and they saw it go off.
The New York Rangers
Alexa,
have
stop.
upcoming games against the Flyers.
Alexa, stop. I get sports updates at 10 a.m. You know, are you really relying on what an app is telling you a plane is doing using 3D? Really? Is that your sourcing for information? Shame. Oh boy, oh boy. Anyway, so yeah, Tusi will be live in about a half hour. And I'll put the upcoming. It says police covers up terror attack. And I'll scroll up a little bit more. Islamist attack in London school, multiple casualties. Police covers up jihad. Now I would be looking into this and doing research on this, but I'm not doing it because this is for Tusi to discuss, not me. He didn't even go live yet, and I'm going to start digging it. Let him go into that out of respect of what he does and his team. But that should be interesting.
It's 37 degrees and cloudy.
Now I'm getting the weather update.
Today's high will be 40, with a 55% chance of a shower this morning.
The parade in the regime is wild. I seen a lot. Do you have to see how much they were posting about it today? Because it happened earlier. Because right now it's nighttime is approaching. It was incredible. But some of the things that they were showing were disgusting in regards to Israel and the United States. It was disgusting. And I'm not going to spread their propaganda. Oh, they were there. You know, today was the rallies for the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. They were showing all the crowds, all the people attending, including the foreign minister was there and other officials from the regime. And they were like parading. It's true. They were. I that is an acceptable term in this case because I'm not going to share their videos. I'm not. Because some of it was absolutely disgraceful. Showing mock coffins of U.S. servicemen and women. People, they had a flag, an Israeli flag and an American flag on the floor, and people were stomping on it as they walked. Like, they were showing videos of that. You could only imagine what they were doing. We'll be stomping them soon. So take that, like I said, I'm not going to spread their propaganda. That's what they want. Let me see if they're reporting anything on X. What is this? He better not be right. This is unconfirmed, and it says unconfirmed, but something... I have to read this. Gotta put my glasses. That's what happens when you get older. not seeing anything. I see the one carrier group. I see everything going on in the Persian Gulf. It says here that destroyer, the Delbert, is in the Red Sea. This is unverified. So, it says here, unverified. Stealth entry of 3 U.S. aircraft carriers into the Indian Ocean and Middle East. Unverified. It makes it clear. Unverified. Deploying 3 carrier strike groups will be a major escalation and nearly impossible to hide. Such movements typically show up in maritime traffic and official statements. Not if they turn it off. 3 carrier surge is a massive escalation that isn't yet visible on satellite imagery. No evidence of 3 carriers. Second is possible, though. There's a lot of talk about this right now, but it's, like I said, it's unconfirmed. I don't know. Again, speculation. That's why you got to be really careful. I would not be surprised, though, of 2. I don't know about 3. That caught my eye, though, because we were just talking about it. Oh, my God. I mean, look what they did. Baal, an ancient spirit, is often associated in contemporary discussions with Satanism, elite corruption, and child sacrifice. And the protesters set fire to an effigy representing Baal marked with the Star of David. It's disgusting. I'm not showing the video. It's disgusting. It's offensive. You know? Oh, God, CNN. Iran could possess 1,800 to 2,000 ballistic missiles within weeks or months. So, yeah, he did participate, the president of Iran. He was out there with them. I would be tracking every one of them. Notice the one person wasn't there to come out the hole on the anniversary. That one person is not visible. He's still hiding in his hole. I'm just... Listen, I know this is rage baiting. But I think we should... Hello, Moses. This is just to give you an idea. And they have a small child. And they have names. This is disgusting. And this is an example of what they do. Look at this. This is disgusting. And they have a small child standing on a mock coffin. Now, you tell me something's not wrong with that picture. In so many ways. Just that picture alone speaks volumes. It does. It shows you. I mean, he's got to be under 10 years old, standing on a mock coffin, indoctrinating them at such a young age to hate. I mean, give me a fucking break. It's disgusting. And I'm not showing no more. But I showed it only for one reason, to show you what they're doing over there. That's a real photo, too. It says they displayed coffins wrapped in American flags with pictures of U.S. Army generals. Cooper is actually, Brad Cooper's the head of CENTCOM. He's on the top. Oh, he's still sending me videos. Really, dude? I have other things I got to be focused on, too. I have to do a favor for a friend and produce a show later at 2 o'clock. I don't even want to see what the other side is putting, but... $39 ago, oil prices jumped 3%, reaching $70 per barrel. I don't know if that's confirmed. And hello, Moses, and all those watching right now. The market fears that Netanyahu may interfere in talks between Iran and the U.S. and trigger a regional war. Give me a break. He's going to state Israel's case about the ballistic missile program to the president, re-emphasize what he told him a month ago, and probably share intelligence. And this is the other side saying this, just so you know. That is disgusting. I mean, look, how can you blame the Israeli people? Look at this. This is what they did. Pro-regime supporters in Iran burned an effigy labeled Baal marked with a Star of David and cast as the satanic figure while chanting death to Israel. And Israel doesn't have a right to defend itself when shit like this goes on? That's been their objective, to destroy, to wipe, erase Israel. Netanyahu knows better than to deal with these people. That's the situation. You can't make a deal with these people. You can't. It's disgusting. And I'm only showing you a couple. This is gross. I mean, they're fucking taking pictures with the coffins like it's some kind of a spectacle. It's sick. This is sick. This is sick. And it's rage baiting. This is sick. It's sick. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, this is above and beyond. I hope the president sees some of this. And this guy, I don't know why he's such a supporter of Iran, the regime. I don't know what this dude's problem is, but there are some messed up people. This has to end. This has to end. Hello, Witch Moon. What's up, Uncle Tank? So yeah, they're showing images, and I don't trust images from them at any given time. Let me see what Fox is saying. Commercial break. That is so phony. This is so phony. It's so obvious. There's so much pro-regime bullshit on X. It's kind of cray-cray. We have to contact Elon Musk. Let's see what Iran International is talking about. Oh, Jesus Christ. So, there was a meeting between the Secretary of Iran's Supreme National Security Council with the Sheikh of Qatar in Doha. Here's some of the quotes coming out of it. This is literally 3 minutes ago. During the meeting, they discussed ongoing efforts to de-escalate tensions in the region as well as the outcomes of the Muscat negotiations between the United States and Iran. What negotiations? Negotiations about having another meeting to do negotiation? Qatar's Prime Minister and Foreign Minister stressed the need for concerted efforts to spare the peoples of the region the consequences of escalation and highlighted the importance of continued coordination with brotherly and friendly countries to overcome differences through diplomatic means. Does that include Israel? It is insane. "25 minutes ago, Iran's deputy foreign minister said Tehran will only negotiate on nuclear issues, warning that any military action would undermine talks." What does that mean? They thinking something's going to happen before any talks next week? Like this weekend? And they're definitely using J.D. Vance's quote, what he said. "What we are focused on now is the fact that Iran can have no nuclear weapons. That has been the president's focus since his first term." Because he said it's up to the Iranian people, which is true. The Iranian people at some point are going to have to take their country back. We're not going to put boots on the ground, but they're not in a position to do that right now. They'll get slaughtered again, massacred by thousands. One hour ago, this is again all coming from Iran International. An Iranian teachers union has confirmed the identities of 200 students killed during the January protests and published their names, defying efforts to suppress information about their deaths. The Coordinating Council of Iranian Teachers Trade Associations released the list in a public statement, calling it both a record of loss and a demand for accountability. The council emphasized that documenting the names is not only a way to honor the victims, but also to assert fundamental rights, life, education, and a future that says were systematically taken from these children. Why would they kill all these children? For what reason? Revenge against the parents? I mean, what the... who in their right mind does this? Little is known about the students' lives, so as many families have been pressured into silence, with some avoiding mentioning their cause of death in funeral notices for fear of retaliation. That is sick. And then they've got the pictures. But I cannot confirm it, so I'm not going to share anything like that. Oh my God. And this was 1 hour ago. It's on their website. I'll do it really quick. I do not want to show that. I do not want to show any images of anyone. But they released this, stating that all those children were murdered. Let's just be clear. Murdered. Murdered. Disgusting. I mean, the news media here, even Fox, I'm watching, they are just, I don't watch the news, the media, but they haven't stopped talking about this case all morning. They mentioned Israel talks with the president for what, 2-3 minutes? Everything is about this case. I mean, what the hell is going on? And yeah, that's all they're talking about is this case, because footage came out from a Ring doorbell or something, and it's all they've been talking about since last night. It's nonstop. And remember, Saturday is the Global Day of Action. It's going to be Munich, LA, Toronto, different places around the world to rally for the Iranian people. Unbelievable. I have to say, Israel, but the thing is, if Israel goes in at alone, the United States has to have their back. They're not just going to let them go in and then retaliation occurs and we're just going to stand idly by. And some people here in the United States will say that's exactly how they're going to drag us into this. Yeah, I mean, this is why Netanyahu pushed the meeting up a week, because he really wants to know what the hell's going on. And he wants to hear it directly, not on a phone call, not on a Zoom call. It's one thing to have a meeting, because I have them all the time, on a camera talking to somebody or a phone call. I hate texting. It's different when you meet someone face to face, eye contact, speaking to them. Not that they can hang up on the call or I gotta go. No, we're gonna discuss this. We're gonna lay it all out right here, right now. I'm gonna state my case. You can state your case, and we can maybe reach some kind of a mutual agreement how to proceed moving forward. But if you don't do X, Y, Z, I'm doing A, B, C. Done. Done. It's that simple. Netanyahu's not going to wait forever. He's been waiting for months as it is. Meanwhile, as time goes by, they keep building up their arsenal. They keep getting stuff from China and Russia, and they get better prepared. They become less vulnerable. As time goes by, you're losing precious time to take action. Netanyahu's not going to sit much longer. He's not. It doesn't make sense. He's got to look out for the best interests of the Israeli people. And the president has to look out for the best interests of the United States. And those may be two different perspectives. Exactly. Just think about what happened in the 12-day with all those missiles. Well, they're back to pretty much that same number. And now, both sides learned a lot from that. If you wait any longer, it's going to be, as time goes by, hours, minutes, days, it gets worse. For Israel. The threat from Iran. It just does. And I don't know. I just have flight rate on the radar on there. I'm really waiting to see what happens from the White House. My gosh, they can't stop talking about this. If anyone has a feed, because I know Tusi's going live soon. Should be very live, like in just a few minutes. Let me check Tusi. Tusi's going live literally in 6 minutes. So go check out Tusi. He's going live in 6 minutes. You can't be impatient on these things. Maybe not for us, but Israel's been patient for months. For months. Addressing their ballistic missile program. For months. Remember, Netanyahu was at the White House a few weeks ago discussing the same thing. Weeks go by. If you think Netanyahu, he's shown a lot of restraint and patience. A lot. But he's at the end. The patience is running thin right now. And I have to be honest, I don't blame him. Now for us, we may be doing it for our reasons, delaying, posturing, everything else to get more assets in the region. A delay tactic. It makes sense from our perspective, but that's looking from our perspective. What about the Israeli perspective? Here's a good one for now. Okay, he just sent me something, my friend. Let me see what he sent me. Let's just read this article. February 2nd. Yeah, because a lot of them are going maintenance. I knew that. So the Nimitz is in Washington preparing for decommissioning. I mean, it's been in service for decades. But I don't necessarily buy that. The Eisenhower. Its current status is it's in Virginia. Based on this article. The Vincent. I think it's in port in San Diego. They got to have a presence in the Pacific. The Roosevelt. Deployed Eastern Pacific. Interesting. It conducted flight exercises off the coast of California last month as she prepares for her next deployment, which could begin later this spring. It departed Naval Air Station North Island, San Diego on January 21st, resuming operational activities after completing maintenance and training. He might be right. It previously returned to San Diego on October 2024, completing a 9-month deployment. Somebody mentioned about that 9-month deployment. That was October. That was months ago. The U.S. Navy hasn't confirmed where the flat top will head next, but she will likely operate in the Indo-Pacific. As other U.S. Navy assets remain in the Caribbean, the Ford, or head to the Middle East. That's interesting. Let me see what Fox is saying. They're obsessed with this story, this Guthrie case. All the media is obsessed with this. It's nonstop. We know where the Lincoln is. We know that's not going anywhere. That's staying right there. What's going on? Oh, God, they're still talking about it. So that's in Newport. I heard this is going to be deployed soon. Preparing. Finally, they're getting some of these ships out of maintenance. The Reagan was in maintenance. Undergoing scheduled maintenance, yep. They've got to get these carriers out and ready. They have to. I would think there is the Bush deployed Atlantic. Because that was undergoing training and there was maintenance issues with that. 2C is now live, everybody. I just got the notification. This is a good article. Yeah, we know where that is, off of Venezuela. Undergoing sea trials. We've got to get these. Got to get them ready. So yeah, this is. I'm going to bookmark this. Interesting take, and that was a week ago. And you could take it for what it's worth. Let's see what's going on in here. No, but Chris is saying from the U.S. perspective, we want to make sure we have all our assets in the region, and that's offensive and defensive. But from an Israeli perspective is definitely different from the U.S. perspective. They live there. They deal with the constant threats. You know, they have to deal with that because they're the number one target, the destruction of Israel. It's a lot different for us to take a perspective on it than telling those people that live right there, and they're the ones that are directly at threat of these ballistic missiles, and tell them otherwise. No, they have to do what they have to do to protect themselves. It's that simple. We can't dictate to them what they need to do for themselves. We can't. They're responsible. They have to do what's best for them. Regardless of what we might say they have to do what they have to do. That's the bottom line. Whether people like it or not, or disagree or agree, that's a different point. I'm just reading, but I understand the point because that's why I looked up the carriers. I think they want more, and you could see on flight radar they're still constantly moving stuff in. This is probably a tanker. What is that? Oh no, it's not. Look at that. They're still constantly moving stuff into the region. Constant. It's unbelievable. It really is unbelievable. The scale, the magnitude. Tanker, sniffer, another tanker. But Israel has every right to defend itself, regardless of what we say or think. It's that simple. I don't think any other country would dictate to us what we need to do. And that's just looking at it from a practical point of view. I mean, what are you going to do? A few minutes ago, a friend of mine from Crete said to me, more jets transferring now. Saudi-based tankers from U.S. I just seen that. Yeah, I just seen that. And be respectful to each other. I mean, Chris is just voicing his opinion, but I get it. I hear you, Chaos. I hear you. I listen. I say this all the time. I say this all the time. When I lived in New York City, and I've been living here for 20 years now, upstate, I experienced what it was like to live there. The good, the bad, the ugly. Fortunately, I lived in a great neighborhood in the Bronx. But if I was to drive 15, 20 minutes south into the South Bronx, at that time, it was scary. It's not so much now. It's an amazing thing how the city has changed for the better. If you watch the media and you listen to the political, you would think it's Escape from New York. That's not the case. It's far from it. The city is remarkably and incredibly safer, cleaner than it's ever been. I threw up statistics last night. See, a lot of people fall into that trap of believing everything they see or hear. But the reason I'm saying is, unless you live there and you experience what's going on, like me saying what's going on in Israel and Iran, I cannot relate. I'm just going based on research and information, which I have to question everything as it is for credibility. But you cannot dictate to someone who's living under those conditions and telling them what's going on when you're not even there. It's the bottom line. It's so easy to be an armchair quarterback. And you don't think I get upset? And like I said, I don't live there anymore. I don't want to live in New York City. It's so beautiful and peaceful up here. I was tired of, oh my God, the congestion, people, taking the subway, driving, dealing with all that. I can't tell you what it was like going to work or school or whatever, is taking the buses or the trains at rush hour and everything associated with it. No privacy. It's so congested. And back in the 80s when I was in high school, we didn't have those issues like today. The politics of it. The city, the crime rate in New York City was insane in the neighborhoods that I would never go to, or my friends would not go to. We would never go into those neighborhoods. Forget about even at night. Wouldn't even think about it. Those same neighborhoods today have been rebuilt. The people that live there have been casted out. They can't afford to live there. The money from Manhattan started to take the South Bronx and redevelop it because they were running out of space in Manhattan. So now they started to rebuild and restructure the South Bronx, and the South Bronx is totally different than it was 4 decades ago. It's amazing. The cities, because I took a bike ride there, I did actually 3 times on the west side. I was amazingly shocked how beautiful they did in New York City on the west side. I was shocked how clean, beautiful, safe. I have the video to prove it. I even stopped and spoke to police officers with long guns and canines. But people judge it like crime is at the worst ever. That's a lie. It's an absolute lie. Statistics, go to NYPD statistics and you'll see historically, crime is less now than it was under Giuliani. And he was the law enforcement mayor. So again, it's so easy to speak from the outside looking into something, but you tell that to the people who live there and are experiencing it and know the deal, and they hear all that noise from the outside and they're like, what are you talking about? Are you here? Do you know what's going on? Do you realize? So I get it. I get it. Because it happens all the time. There's still, what the heck is going on with this coverage? I'm watching Fox News and it Doesn't stop. Two things can be true at the same time. Some places got better and other areas could have gotten worse. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's not perfect. But overall, it's gotten better. Just like I said, don't take my word for it. Where there's a populace of 5 boroughs of over 8 million people, when you look at the crime statistics, you break it down by demographics and strictly based on the number of people that live there and the amount of crime that happens. New York City is one of the safest big cities in the world. Based on numbers, demographic numbers, per capita. And people, like I said, take things out of context because they want to spin it a certain way. Let's see. Actually, absolutely, statistics can be manufactured. But see, when that happens, then what do you trust? Nothing. And that's the point. They don't want you to believe in anything. What can you trust then? Nothing? So you might as well just say everything, no matter what is said, by whom, whatever, right, left, center. You can't trust anything anyone says. That's what that comes down to. Because they'll manufacture whatever they want to sway opinion. And I guess that's what a lot of people, where they're at right now. Absolute mistrust. And I get it. But that's a real dangerous rabbit hole to go down if you're at that point where it's almost conspiracy paranoia. Extremely. That's just like an extreme take on things. Really. Next stayed in New York and like I said, it depends where you go to stay in New York. I wouldn't tell you to go to Bushwick in Brooklyn. That place has never changed. There are some places. Yeah, thank God. See, that was after me, the crack epidemic. When I was young, it was cocaine. Cocaine was the big deal. Again, we don't want to spin this into but somebody had mentioned about chaos, life in Israel. And I was trying to make an analogy where if you don't live there, I don't know what's going on. I can only imagine what the people of Israel go through on the constant threat and the things that have happened for decades, let alone the last 2-3 years. I can only imagine. Like Moses in chat. He lives right near the Gaza border. And what happened October 7th. You tell those people that were directly affected or knew someone, that shit is fine. You just tell them that. And the constant threat. Like right now, you think they're sitting back comfortable in Israel right now? You can only imagine. It's like, let's send our kids to school today, not knowing that while they're at school, we can get the red alert on our phones and we got to get our children, or they got to, could you imagine? Because they're under constant threat. And this is not just because of the situation that's going on now. This is always. Remember, the goal is the destruction, death to Israel. Bottom line. And yes, they say death to America, but we don't live in the neighborhood. We do. I truly believe we have to worry about a sleeper cell situation here, but they're there. I mean, look at the map. They're there. It's not far. It's not far from here to there. And when you hear about them constantly developing ballistic missiles and more missiles and dirty bombs and who God knows, only knows what the hell of a country that's the size of New Jersey being barraged by thousands of missiles, potentially dirty, and they're not to be concerned. And if you don't do something now, you wait 2-3 years, it may be irreversible. There may be nothing you can do. My friend is sending me more stuff. Do you know what this kind of is interesting too? The lack of coverage right now with Netanyahu and Trump. Because I'm watching Fox. I have 4 monitors, so I can see what's going on. I'm actually watching Fox Live. The lack of coverage is telling, to be honest. I want to see how much they cover this. Fox News? All they've been talking about is the Nancy Guthrie case all morning. Like literally all morning. And I'm sure I can only imagine all the mainstream outlets are probably doing it too. Bill, the people of Iran, me and my relatives, and 90 other million people has waited for this since the, oh God, don't even bring up the Carter administration. Oh my God. But I know what you mean, because that's when it all began. They're still talking about this case. They've been talking about it since the top of the hour. They won't stop with the case. There's other news going on, right? I get it. It's a high-profile situation. But my gosh, there's other news going on too that is important. Let's see what you guys are writing. So again, we'll just see. And remember, Tusi is live. He's been live for the last 20 minutes, approximately. I think we all need tea and cookies. I think I need more than that, but it's too early in the morning for apple juice. Let me just get that off. Oh, it looks like they're sending up a Voyager right now. The RAF. They got actually a couple things going on. What do they got going on here? What's the most tracked flight? Okinawa? Abu Dhabi. That's the drone, the Overlord. Yep. Is there 2 of them? That one's about to leave. What's this one? 2 of them about to depart. 2 tankers about to depart from Cyprus, the RAF. It's interesting. Not saying that it means anything, but is this the C5 leaving or a tanker? Oh, that's a tanker. Italy. I mean, everybody's busy, huh? What the fuck is that? It's over Iran. Who is that? No information. Okay. That left the UAE. The drone is coming back finally after being out there for hours and hours. Looks like it's coming back in to land. The drone's done its thing. It's coming back. I'm still looking at Fox News. Still looking. Nothing. I'm checking, but there's really nothing going on. But I'm going to keep an eye on everything. Excuse me. The meeting should be happening soon. That's what's mind-boggling right now. No coverage of him arriving at the White House. And if anybody finds anything, please let me know. Like if you see something on YouTube that's sharing the video of what's going on today, because Fox News is just not covering it. I'm actually shocked. It doesn't make sense. Like I said, if anybody has a link to actual video, I'm about to take away your moderation. Oh shit, I don't remember. Somebody sent me something important. Now I can't get access to it. Okay. Let me put this on full screen just in case. This is important. It's work related. This is what happens. Okay, it's over here. This is not good. This is bad, actually. Not good. my gosh, this is really not good. Okay, we can try to do a text. This is very important. I gotta solve. Let me just see Fox News. I can't believe they're not covering it. It's the top of the hour. They're on a commercial break. The top of the hour, I'm really interested to see what they talk about. Okay. And I apologize, but this is important. Somebody's sending me videos on messaging because I'm doing a favor for a show host. And he sent me videos and all kinds of stuff. I got to do a show at 2 o'clock for a friend. Produce his show. All right, that's done. He sends me videos. Okay, here we go with the FAA stuff.
No danger to commercial travel in the region. The restrictions have been lifted and normal flights are resuming. Wiz, curiously though, when they first announced this, they said there would be a 10-day shutdown of that airport. It really was over almost before it began.
Well, Dana, that's a message sent to President Sheinbaum. President Trump said, sit on these cartels, we're going to do it for you. So I think that was a shot across the bow to Mexico. If you don't get your house in order, we're going to do it for you. Dana, as you alluded to, the last time I saw a message like this, a notice to airmen using deadly force in airspace, was on September 12th. This is bad. There's a great Tom Clancy movie, Clear and Present Danger, where the Ronald Reagan-like president said these cartels represent a clear and present danger to the United States. Dana, if you want to get a ton of fentanyl or coke across the border, you strap it on a drone and you fly it into our country. This is bad. We really need to wake up to the threat. This is technically an incursion of our airspace from an armed terrorist group. What's going to be our response?
Wiz, I'm just going to put up a map here that shows the FAA restrictions that lasted just for that short period of time. But going back to, as we look at that map, I just want to ask you about something. When Sean Duffy says the threat has been neutralized and there is no danger to commercial travel in the region, I know hopefully we'll get some more information or video. In your mind's eye, you can imagine what it looks like. But I'm curious about when you said it's a message to Sheinbaum, who is the president of Mexico. Do you think she doesn't have control over these cartels?
No, absolutely not. She has zero control over any of these cartels, and they're embedded all the way up into the highest levels of her government. And these cartels kill American citizens with their product, and they physically kill American citizens. Dana, last year, do you remember when Ukraine snuck some 18-wheelers into Russia or built some fake houses near air bases? Somebody pressed a button on their cell phone, the roofs opened up, and they took out 25% of that bomber fleet. If the cartels are starting to use drones, I don't want to scare people, but could you imagine a pickup truck full of 100 drones sitting on the approach corridor at Fort Lauderdale International Airport and flying those drones up into the flight path of an aircraft? Remember Sully and the Miracle on the Hudson? We've seen what birds can do to the intake of engines. What do you think drones can do? So this is big, and we really need to get a handle on this.
Also, just a quick comment, if you would, on drones are relatively cheap to produce.
Correct. Absolutely. Look at warfare's changed in Ukraine, Dana. You can strap a small warhead on a drone and take out a multi-million-dollar tank, for example. So we need to wake up to what's going on. Good on the Army Air Defense folks at Fort Bliss who took down a bunch of these drones. Our young men and women on the tip of the spear. But we're worried about wars going on around the world, Dana. We got to worry about what's going on our own
Southern
border.
Wiz, you're a show favorite. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, Dana.
We'll see where that story.
Nothing on the meeting between the president and Netanyahu. Breaking news alert. Let's see. Back to Nancy Guthrie. What is going on? The lack of coverage. What is going on? It is really bizarre. It really is bizarre. Cray cray. It really is cray cray. And I'm keeping an eye on it, but they're not talking about it. Yeah, maybe they are. That's probably, you're right. They're probably waiting for comments after. Oh my God, he's sending me more stuff. Jesus Christ. I don't know how long I can do this for him, because it's interfering with what I need to do. Because I have to commit time to do it. And time is something right now I don't have. And I feel bad, but I can't keep doing this. Because it's starting to affect me. So if we don't hear something soon, I got to get off because I'm helping a friend do his show. And it's a conservative podcast. It's 2 hours. It's actually quite a big show. So, like I said, I do him a favor. Oh my God. Like I said, if anybody has information, let me know. Thank God I'm not sharing my screen. Because some of the stuff he's sending me is like for the show videos. Something that happened in Italy. Bizarre. A heist. Okay. That's good for now. They won't stop with this Guthrie case. They just, and I'm surprised Fox is just running with it. Constant. Let me see what you guys are saying. I'm done now. So I'm getting videos and I still got more. He's still sending me stuff, I think. I don't even know. Okay, they put something out. Garbage. So he met with Rubio. Netanyahu signed to join the Board of Peace during his meeting with Secretary Rubio. The state, oh, this is new. The State Department issues a severe travel warning for hostile countries, including Iran, Syria, and Yemen, amongst others. Do not travel, level 4. That. They just issued, and that's severe. Is that an indication something's coming? Don't know. I mean, look at this. Iran's Supreme National Security Council Chairman Ali Larijani met with Hamas leaders in Doha. Proxies? Really? You're negotiating? They're showing their solidarity with Hamas? It just continues. It just doesn't stop. Insane. I'm gonna have to scour. Because I'm not getting nothing from the media. I don't think that's true. That's bullshit. That's probably old news. It's coming from India, so I'll deem it as fake. Or old. Okay, so this one is talking about it, but I don't know if this is old. Fox News Now.
Right now, I want to take you out to this live look over a very snowy White House at this hour, as in just a matter of hours, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is expected to meet with President Trump at the White House as tensions continue to grow between the U.S. and Iran. The two leaders have met at least 7 times since Trump's second term began last January, And the White House says President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu are set to meet at 11 a.m. Eastern time. So we're talking about 2.5 hours from now. It's not clear if members of the media will be allowed in either before or after. And if there is any kind of joint press conference, we'll make sure to bring it to you, as you can watch it here, as always, on Live Now from Fox. Want to pop this up on your screen? This is actually from the Prime Minister's social media account, as he posted that photo on the left-hand side of your screen saying Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with the special envoys of the U.S. President, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. The PM and envoys, Witkoff and Kushner, discussed regional issues, and they provided an update on the first round of negotiations that they held with Iran just last Friday. Now, later on, just about 30 minutes from now, we expect that Netanyahu will meet with Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
That already
and
happened.
As I mentioned, 11 a.m. Eastern time, he is set to speak with President Trump. I want to bring in Ben Cohen, senior analyst at the Foundation for Defensive Democracies, directing its Rapid Response Outreach Program, joining us now live to talk about what to expect from this meeting here. Ben, thank you so much for being here with us this morning.
Good morning, Josh.
And of course, the big question I want to start off with here is kind of an overall look at this meeting itself. What is the ultimate goal of the meeting between Netanyahu and Trump? What are each hoping to get out of this?
Well, I think most immediately, the goal is to get them on the same page on both Iran and on the reconstruction of Gaza. And those are two key, I would say, existential questions for Israel.
Now, this is commentary. This is opinion. That's his opinion. We all have them. But did you hear the key thing that he said at the opening? The press, not before or after. It's closed. They may make remarks. But what did we say yesterday? The chances of the press having the ability to ask questions before the meeting, because you'll see them sometimes, they'll sit there and they'll say a few words before they go into the meeting. And then the press might have the opportunity to ask a few questions. That's not happening. It looks like there's not going to be any press involved post after. And we said that yesterday. We said that yesterday. The chance, what, and some people say, oh yeah, they'll do it. He does it all the time. And what did a lot of us say? Oh no, it's not going to happen. And we were right. It's not happening. The press is not going to have access. They're keeping this really tight-lipped. What's up, John? So for those who said yesterday that they weren't going to take questions from the press, period, you were right. Now they will cover it. That's why the media is not covering it. They've been closed out. That's why they're not covering it. I was like, why is Fox not talking about it? Now we know why. It makes total sense. Okay, somebody put a link. Sean put a link. Remember, I can't put the video because I'll get copyrighted. Oh, Sky News. So he hasn't gotten there yet, but he was signing with Rubio. Maybe that was at the Capitol. I cannot share this, though, because I'll get slammed. But I have it on. Thank you, Sean. And me too. I have work coming in as I'm doing this. Like he sent me, you want to see a clip he sent me for a show today that I got to do? It's cray-cray. It is cray-cray. And I've got to get off soon. Not yet. It's early. I still got a couple hours, but this is for his show. That's why I was working, because stuff is coming in while I'm sitting here streaming live. So supposedly, this is in Italy. Armed gang blows up armored van in Italy. The hell is this? This is crazy. This was a heist in Italy. Now, I don't know what the context of this is for the show, but I'll show you like the videos he's sending me to show on the air today. What the hell is this?
Version of the Italian job.
Let me pause this audio.
Were blown off. Thieves used fake police cars and guns as they tried to unsuccessfully rob a van in Italy's Puglia region.
How is this possible? They're all fake police.
Tutti poliziotti finti. Immediately pursued by the actual police, the robbers set fire to the surrounding vehicles to block their path. Those in the van were left unscathed.
They are alive. It's a miracle.
Police unions describe the attack as a war scene.
They displayed unprecedented criminal violence. They showed no fear of danger, to the point that they did not hesitate to open fire on one of our rifle patrols, which fortunately did not result in any casualties among my colleagues.
Two of the perpetrators were arrested a few hours later, while the others are still on the run. In light of Monday's attack, the Italian government praised the bravery and composure of the police. There were no
Wow, that's
casualties.
crazy. Holy shit. That is crazy. So that's just one of a few videos he sent me for today. Let's see what's going on here. That's what that's saying. It could be. Okay, so somebody else, he puts that Netanyahu and Trump shook hands and went into the White House. If it doesn't have any, yeah, it's the same one. Who knows? Right? Impersonating police? You seen it a few days ago, Sean? That is crazy. But he's going to be discussing this on his show today. He's got guests on. He sent me another video. And I can't do it right now because it shares the screen. Or maybe it's downloadable. You know what the worst is? When somebody sends me an MOV file, StreamYard doesn't play MOVs. I got to convert it to MP4s. It is a pain. It's an MOV. Of course it's a fucking MOV. This is so annoying for me. Very annoying. Let's see what's going on now. Oh no, it's on his YouTube. It's called Search Warrant. What's going on now, John? Tusi had a show about. Yeah, I know. I talked about it, that he was going live about it. I did share it. No, it's live at 2 p.m. Eastern. It's a very conservative show. I'm just giving you the heads up. If you do watch it, it's called Search Warrant. Just look up Search Warrant on YouTube and you'll find it. Search Warrant. You should find it. It's a retired NCIS agent, actually two of them, a retired Philadelphia police officer, and then they have a guest on. And it's 2 hours, from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern. That's what I'll be doing later. Wow, I can't even bring in the... I may not be able to do his video. This may be a problem. You know, I can work miracles because I'm pretty good at doing producing and editing, but sometimes things are just not possible. Sometimes I think that they think you're a miracle worker. I don't know if this is going to work. The aspect ratio doesn't match. Change. Okay. Export. I'm just going to put video 5 because he didn't give me a title. It's a short. It should be like, you'll hear the note. There it is. I'll load it later. That's Movavi. All right, let me keep an eye on that White House feed. Somebody's standing out there. Let me see if there's any audio. So we'll keep an eye on this. And thank you, Sean, for providing that. It doesn't work that way, KJ. They're doing it from their iPhone. You think they're going to do that for me? I wish they would, but it doesn't work that way. It took British police 30 minutes to get to the scene in a school. Oh my God. What? And it's in London and they took 30 minutes to get there? That's insane. That is unacceptable. He doesn't understand, I guess, the context of what happened at that school with the jihadists. And if you want to learn more about that school, KJ, go to 2C TV and watch his stream and see what he discusses of what happened at that school. That would be the best advice I give you. If you're interested, go watch it. Go watch 2C's program. The audio you hear is from the White House, thanks to Sean. We're seeing if what happens, but they closed the press out. We're not going to get nothing. I knew it. I knew we weren't going to get anything out of this by the press. I knew it. So I'm getting the link from 2C and I'm putting it in chat if you guys want to see it. If you missed it. Excuse me. That's the link for 2C's stream about what happened. Islamist attack in London school, multiple casualties. That is horrific. They are keeping it tight-lipped. And we said that yesterday. Remember I asked, what are the chances they allow the press to ask questions? People are like, oh yeah, they do it all the time. Not in this situation. So for those that said that they wouldn't take questions, you were right. They're not allowing the press to access and ask questions. They may come out, that's what Fox News said, they may come out and make comments. Short comments. We discussed Gaza and Iran, and that might be it. They're not going to go into details. So I knew it. I had a feeling that was going to happen. That is just horrific. There's no excuse for it. It doesn't matter if it's traffic, mismanagement, miscommunication. I mean, even here in the United States, like the rapid response, you know, they usually get to schools or places like that quick. Within minutes, not no half hour. That's just unacceptable. I mean, that is beyond. I saw what happened in Canada and British Columbia. I saw that last night. I was like, oh my God. 9 people, including the shooter. I saw that last night. I was like, what the is going on? It's true. Something ain't right. Something is just not right. But Becky, we were saying that yesterday. I actually asked the questions. Do you think that they'll take questions from the press? There were a few that said yes, but the majority of us said no way. So the no ways won yesterday. They're not doing it. They just said it. That clip earlier said it. I'm going to keep watching Fox News too, but maybe they'll come out. But I don't think so. Oh wait, yeah. But I mean, our thoughts and prayers and condolence. See, like my old high school, but this is the Bronx. They had police in front and they had police officers inside. But this is a high school of 2,500 students. It's not a rural situation. The police presence at the high school was obvious. And this was in the 80s. I can't imagine what it's like now. When I went to school, there were no gates, nothing. Metal detectors, none of that. I'm sure a lot of people in chat remember that. And I lived in the city. Maybe not so much in the rural, but in the city, in the Bronx. They eventually put in metal detectors and they gated the school up. I was like, oh my God, it's crazy. Yeah, John, it's, but it wasn't like that 30, 40 years ago. Not even my school in the Bronx was like that. No, I haven't seen the police in the UK. Yeah, that's true too, after Columbine, yeah. I had 2 school police and 3 actual officers that would be at my school. But you grew up in a different time. This is more recent. Back then, we didn't have these issues. But then again, if I went to the South Bronx, like I said in the 80s, you had 13, 12-year-olds packing. Seriously. And I'm sure it's worse now. So, even then, like I said, back then there was no phones. It was your sneakers. Take off your sneakers. Literally. They would rob you for your sneakers. And people were killed over sneakers. That's the way it was back then. That's just insane thinking about that. Oh, I can imagine, Ulysses. I can imagine. I don't blame you. Yeah, I had a great time in the 80s. It was different. I always tell this story. We used to hang out at a strip in the Bronx by a bridge. It was industrial, and there was a big park. The police used to chase us out of one park and say, go over there. They used to tell us, go over there. Because we're not bothering anybody. And I used to work in a bowling alley in the snack bar at the time. I was a teenager. And we would all, after I would take the bowling balls that were chipped, the owner would give them to me, and the pins, because they can't use them. And we would actually bowl on the street at this strip. Spray painted the spots to put the pins near the curb. Oh yeah, we would bowl on the street. One day the police came, got out of their car, and started bowling with us. And we were like, oh shit, this is cool. They're actually hanging out with us. Different times. Different times. That's what I'm saying. And my friend, he could tell you, he was there. The police would hang out with us. Different times. And like John said, great times. What's going on with assumptions? What's going on, Armin? What did I miss? You're right, John. We used to all chip in to hang out. We're still watching. I'm watching Fox News on one thing, and I'm watching what Sean provided, the White House feed from outside. But I do have to leave soon. I don't think we're going to get much out of this. Armin, I missed what you were saying. What's going on with assuming things? What happened? I missed it. And hello to you. No Nonsense Grind says we need dinghy detectors, not metal detectors. But back then, they were looking for knives and other weapons that they were trying to get into the school. I don't know what it's like now. Obviously, I don't. But back then, I remember the transition. What happened was, the real story was, my high school was actually a high school for the neighborhood, the immediate neighborhood, which was Pelham Bay, Throgs Neck. You would have to know the area. Then, the city decides to allow students to come from other neighborhoods, because my school was considered like a top-tier educational school. It was like a really good high school. Then they came out with this thing where now students can come from all over the Bronx to go to that high school, and that changed everything for the bad. That's when the high school went down, but that was after my time. But that's what they did. That's when they had to put the metal detectors and put gating around the school and make it like a prison. And that's true. See, but like up here, and I like I said, I can't say what it's like for the local here in a rural area, what the high schools are like. And I don't know. I don't know. But up here, it's like what somebody just put in chat. You can go for walks and ride my bike by myself and no one would bother me at all. That happens here. I do it all the time. I go bike riding. It's peaceful. It's beautiful. It's nice. Like, mom's still got that New York mentality. You don't have to lock the door. They don't have to be security doors. She made me do all this. It's not like that here. I've been living here 20 years. Not one crime in my neighborhood. Not one. Not a burglary, not an assault, not a felony of any kind here. 20 years. None. Zero. That's amazing. Not one. Says a lot. If I was living in New York City, forget about it. So it's night and day, literally. I'm still watching Fox. What? I mean, they are obsessed with this Nancy Guthrie thing. It's breaking news. TMZ, the founder, TMZ receives new note demanding 1 Bitcoin to name alleged abductor of Nancy Guthrie. Is this sick? He's talking about it right now on Fox. It's sick. This is like off the scales. It's insane. We got an email from someone claiming to know who the abductor is. It's insane. We live in insane times, let me tell you. But we're talking about Iran, but there's nothing coming out because we're not going to hear anything about this meeting between Netanyahu and President Trump. We're not. They closed the press. They locked the press out. Before and after. They locked them out. So you can only imagine what they're discussing, and they're going to be something's coming. I found out yesterday that Savannah daughter interviewed tonight, but the episode never aired. That's an interesting little take. Oh yeah, that's an interesting assessment, Mrs. Soriano. That's an interesting assessment. She says, Bill, I found out yesterday that Savannah, Guthrie's daughter, interviewed Epstein survivors in 2019, but the episode never aired. Now, after the current doc dump, her mom disappears. Is there a connection? Coincidence? I don't know. But that's an interesting take on it. John, I'm with you. Not long from now. I think Bibi is going to give Trump a piece of his... Oh, are you kidding? Of course he is. Of course he is. Bibi's definitely going to let Trump know what he's thinking right now. There's no doubt about that. It's either... All right. Because it's like the president is... You go when I say go. Netanyahu's like, not so fast. Like I said, we can bring up the date. I actually should bring that up. Maybe that's something we should look into. Because it's telling. It is telling. I think people have short memories. Let's see. I'm trying to find the other one. Was it in January or December? Somebody said it was 3 weeks ago. I didn't think it was that soon. It might have been. It was December. It was the end of December. And when you see Netanyahu's reaction, and it's the best one is when they took questions. This was at the end of the month. It wasn't 3 weeks ago. I knew it wasn't. Somebody said 3 weeks ago. It wasn't 3 weeks ago.
The meeting. But if it's anything like yesterday, it was all reversed.
Hold on, I'm trying to see when they...
Around. Terms of 2020, that is on the right side of history right now. You'd hear from the people. And
this is from their last meeting.
He or she hears from the people. And that...
On December 29th.
As quickly as we can, but there has to be a disarmament, that we have to disarm.
Gaza.
Hamas. So one of the things we'll talk about certainly.
This is before they went in.
There has to be a disarming of Hamas. Otherwise, very quickly. Yeah.
Can you say anything more about the explosion in Venezuela that you mentioned in the radio?
Remember, this is before Venezuela.
Well, it doesn't matter, but there was a major explosion in the dock area where they load the boats up with drugs.
I'm going to skip.
I have a great relationship with President Erdogan, and we'll be talking about it. And if it's good, I think that's good. And a lot will be having to do with Bibi. We're going to be talking about that. But Turkey's been great.
You had to see Netanyahu's reaction when he said that.
As far as I'm concerned, I don't know about you. To me, he's been very good.
Can we get another question?
Sure.
Yes.
His face says it all.
Your relationship with Prime Minister Netanyahu and how important it is for you to see him be pardoned by the Israeli president.
Look, he's a wartime prime minister. He's done a phenomenal job. He's taken Israel through a very dangerous period of trauma. Israel with other people might not exist right now, if you want to know the truth. That's a pretty big statement, but it's true. I feel that. You had the wrong prime minister. Israel right now would not exist because they were met with a force the likes of which very few countries could have handled. And we worked together, and we were extremely victorious, to put it mildly. Now I hear that Iran is trying to build up again, and if they are, we're going to have to knock them down. We'll knock them down. We'll knock the hell out of them. But hopefully that's not happening. I heard Iran wants to make a deal. If they want to make a deal, that's much smarter. You know, they could have made a deal the last time before we went through, you know, a big attack on them, and they decided not to make the deal. They wish they made that deal. So I think, again, they should make a deal. They want.
And he said this on December 29th. It's almost exactly what he's saying now. And you got to see Netanyahu's reaction standing next to him. You should go look at this video from the meeting over a month ago.
To make a deal, but sometimes that doesn't happen. Yeah, please.
Mr. Tom Biden, WMLH 24 News Israel, would you support the overthrow of the Iranian regime?
Who?
Iranian regime.
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime. It's, they've got a lot of problems in Iran. They have tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know that people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people. You know, they kill people. And the people tend to, I've watched this for years. There's tremendous discontent. They form 100,000, 200,000 people. All of a sudden, people start getting shot. And that group disbanded pretty quickly. So I've watched it for years. They're vicious.
So he obviously is aware. Remember, this is from December 29th. He obviously is aware. He even said that Israel was fighting for their life. He knows the stakes for Israel. He knows this. And you know Netanyahu's going in there right now, probably still going on, and telling him, Mr. President, we discussed this already. The threat to my country. I was here 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. And I'm sure there's going to be intelligence sharing. He's more than aware of what the situation is. And Netanyahu's going to go in there and re-emphasize everything they already spoke about 5 weeks ago. But now Netanyahu's like, okay, we that's why I played this. We spoke about this already. I've been patient. I'm waiting. I'm following your lead. But if this is only about the nuclear, Israel may have to take unilateral action against Iran of their ballistic missile program. They already discussed this. It's rehashing it all over again. And that's why I'm playing this, because people get short-term memories of what they discussed 5 weeks ago. Now, of course, the U.S. perspective is different. Objectives are different from what Israel's are. We may not be ready to, we're sending more. But where Israel sits, it's different. And he even said, he literally said, they could have been destroyed. You know what I mean? I know. So I saw that Bibi met with Rubio. That was for the peace thing in Gaza. He signed. Yeah, he signed the documents. I saw that already. The atmosphere in Iran is so tense. I can't imagine. Exactly. I heard about the intelligence that he's bringing. Yes, the drones with the cartels, they shot them, you know, they took them down. We brought that up earlier as well. I hope you're right, Becky. I hope they are finalizing. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. And this could all be 4D chess. This could all be 4D chess. It really can be. And a lot of people are thinking that, exactly what you said, Becky, that this is finalizing the plans of what's going to happen moving forward regarding Iran. So, again, we got to see how this plays out. But I'm going to tell you, you watch this video and you see Bibi's reaction to some of the things the president says. He looks at him like...
Vicious people, yeah.
Mr. President, will you support an attack, Israeli attack on Iran if Iran will not have a deal? If Iran will continue with their ballistic missiles and also nuclear weapons?
If they will continue with the missiles, yes.
Whoa. This was 5 weeks ago. Yes. Would he support Israel attacking Iran based on their ballistic missile programs and nuclear? He said yes. Yes. Out of his mouth 5 weeks ago. So you think that's changed? I'll play it again. This was on December 29th, 2025.
Not to make the deal. They wish they made that deal. So I think, again, they should make a deal.
He's saying that now.
They want to make a deal.
Saying that now.
But sometimes that doesn't happen. Yeah, please.
Mr. Tanbai, Melech 24 News Israel. Would you support the overthrow of the Iranian regime?
Who?
Iranian regime.
I'm not going to talk about overthrow of a regime. They've got a lot of problems in Iran. They have tremendous inflation. Their economy is bust. Their economy is no good. And I know that people aren't so happy, but don't forget, every time they have a riot or somebody forms a group, little or big, they start shooting people. You know, they kill people. And the people tend to... I've watched this for years. There's tremendous discontent. They form 100,000, 200,000 people. All of a sudden, people start getting shot. And that group disbanded pretty quickly. So I've watched it for years. They're vicious.
December 29th.
Yeah.
Mr. President, will you support an attack, Israeli attack on Iran if Iran will not have a deal? If Iran will continue with their ballistic missiles and also nuclear weapons?
If they will continue with the missiles, yes. The nuclear, fast. Okay? One will be yes, absolutely. The other was...
One would be, yes, absolutely, supporting Israel attacking Iran based on their ballistic missile program. Unilaterally, Israel, he said yes, absolutely. The other one, immediate. He said it 5 weeks ago with Netanyahu.
We'll do it immediately.
And if it's nuclear, immediately. And here comes Netanyahu with new intelligence. So he said it 5 weeks ago. Has he changed his mind on that with Israel? Do you think he's changed his mind? And remember, this is December 29th. This is before we found out on those 2 specific nights of tens of thousands of Iranians getting slaughtered and massacred. This is before Venezuela. He said it. That's why I wanted to play that video, because people have may not remember that. He said it. So remember that. Let me see what you guys are writing now. Let's see. Missiles are on the table, knowing regime will not play ball. Then they finish business in Iran. Exactly. They know that's a non-starter right there. They know it. The missile program, Iran's already said it. It's only nuclear. It's on the table. And you know the deal's not going to happen. No way the deal's going to happen. They know this already. Like Becky said, they're going in there to finalize, go over logistics and intelligence, and he might even get a tour of the Situation Room. Netanyahu. Exactly, John. Not long to go. And you know, there's a lot of anti-Semitism out there. You're going to get people talking. He's doing the bidding of Israel. You know, you're going to hear all that. That goes without saying. But I played that. I had to find that clip because people may not remember that. That 5 weeks ago, December 29th, around 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, whatever it is, he said that with Netanyahu right next to him. Right there. Standing side by side. And remember, do you think that the president wants to be, I keep saying this, in looking back in history, for him personally to be put in the same category or discussion or whatever as Obama and Biden? Do you honestly think he wants to be in the same? No way. No way. Absolutely no effing way. Okay, Fox is still talking about other stuff. What you're hearing is outside the White House, but it's coming from Sky News, thanks to Sean. I know, we talked about that earlier, KJ, about J.D. Vance's comment. Yeah, they're following, I mean, really. So I think pretty much we all have a sense of what's going on. And I don't think that, I mean, strategically, would you want Israel to draw Iran to do something, or Israel goes in and then we come in and behind Israel? I mean, there's so many possibilities here. Because if you think about it, with the ability that we have, and it's vast, with the type of aircraft we have, surveillance, intelligence, if Israel were to go in and they start to get their missiles ready and we're watching, and as they're ready to get their launchers ready and everything, then the United States comes in and wipes it all out. Baiting them. That could be. Israel goes in. They start lighting up their stuff. They say, oh, Israel's on the way. The United States is watching everything with everything that we have available. And you start seeing movements. And things getting lit up. Let's just say, lit up. We send in everything and take it all out before they even have the ability to launch them and decimate them. Do you know what I mean? They're definitely talking today about, like Becky said, absolutely. It's not about the negotiations. That's dead. I understand, Sean. I get it. You want to see movement. But they'll move when they're ready or when the president is ready. In the next few weeks, I would think in the next 2-3 weeks, shit's going to go down. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to predict this weekend, tomorrow, next weekend. The only thing I will say, it's a 3-day weekend, holiday weekend in the United States this weekend. Markets closed. It's President's Day. Monday. A lot of people could read into that. What happened on Friday, June 13th, Friday the 13th? The beginning of the 12th day? Well, this Friday's Friday the 13th again. There's so much you could play with here. Sean is still thinking this weekend. Russia and China is not going to go to a nuclear war with the United States over Iran. Russia and China have their own issues. Russia's got to deal with Ukraine and NATO and that whole nasty mess. China has its eyes set on Taiwan. They're not going to start a nuclear war over Iran. Luke, no. No. Absolutely not. And a lot of people want to see him stick to his word. Yeah, that makes no sense. Going to nuclear over Iran. Absolutely none. They have other things that have matters of interest to them. Regionally, geographically. They have other things. They're not going to... I mean, that makes no sense. If they were threatened directly, then you might hear saber rattling about the use of nuclear weapons. But they're not going to do it over Iran. That's why, you see other people going to Moscow, taking those trips. We've all of us have been really wrong on predicting. You can't predict this. You just can't. Think about the people that are putting money on this and losing hundreds of thousands of dollars betting on this. They're the ones that. Yeah, that's a good point. Iran isn't their child; it's their cow to milk, and they've been milking it. And they're doing their part by providing Iran with equipment, intelligence. That's their involvement. Now, some might speculate: is it possible they gave them a nuke? Anything's possible, I guess. Right? Whoever was betting the money is just cray-cray. Throwing money away, really. It's just like throwing money away. I do think that Trump will ultimately do as Bibi wishes. I don't know necessarily because then people are going to say Trump is doing what Israel's telling him what to do. I don't think the president would agree with that. The president's going to do what he wants to do. It's his decision. People can give him advice or tell them their point of view, but the president's going to make his mind up. No one's going to make his mind for him. He's going to do what he wants to do, not to be coerced or manipulated by anyone. But I do think that that's why I played that. He knows the situation. He knows what's going on. 5 weeks ago, he said the same thing he's saying now. Negotiation, no deal, deal. He said the same thing. And what happened? He almost literally said 6 weeks ago, 5-6 weeks ago, what he's saying right now about negotiations. It's almost exact. Yeah, but they also have missile silos underground. Okay. And bunker busters, clusters. Like I said, good luck. It is a concern, there's no doubt. No doubt. and the threat to our Navy, no doubt, to our bases, no doubt, to Israel, no doubt. I mean, that's makes sense. And right now they're still in the meeting because there's, like I said, thanks to Sean providing the link, the live shot of the White House. They're in there. How long does this meeting last? I'd say at least 2 hours. And what does Bibi do? Does he leave immediately to return to Israel? I would think so. It's a 12-hour flight. He has to get home right away. So I'm sure that he'll be... The door just opened. He closed it. I saw him opening up the door. And I can pause it, but I can't. I don't want to get in trouble. I have the audio on, as you can tell. Let me get... Okay, I'm going to pause it. So this is actually the live feed from the White House outside. It's a familiar shot. Right there. Just keeping an eye. But that was interesting how they said the press corps was not allowed to go prior or after to ask any questions. Pretty interesting. Let me refresh. Let's see if anything is coming out from the things here. Oh, he's not leaving until Thursday? Really? I don't see that. I ain't buying that. I think he leaves right away today, unless he's got plans to meet with congressional members and other things. I don't know what's on his itinerary. I don't know if he's scheduled to do other things other than meet the president. He already signed the documents with Rubio. Maybe he has other stuff while he's here planned. That's possible. Then he leaves tomorrow. Oh, they're putting more stuff out. So they're regurgitating what we already know. Satellite imagery from yesterday, February 10th, shows that Iran's underground tunnels at the Esfahan nuclear complex are almost completely covered, likely still in progress. This has been done to protect Iran's existing stockpile of highly enriched uranium, which is buried here at around 100 meters in depth, from being destroyed in an airstrike or accessed by a ground raid. I'm checking other. But that is interesting too. The level 4 do not travel that was issued. The State Department issues a severe travel warning for hostile countries, including Iran, Syria, and Yemen, amongst others. And they list them all. The countries on this: Afghanistan, Burma, Iran, Libya, North Korea, South Sudan, Ukraine, Belarus, Iraq, Mali, Russia, Sudan, Venezuela. I can't read because without my glasses. Burkina Faso, Haiti, Lebanon, Nigeria, Somalia, Syria, and Yemen. They issued a level 4 travel, do not travel. And remember, they may have done that generally to all these countries, but you know which ones they really don't want you to go to right now. So yeah, that's pretty much. There's nothing else. Iran does not want to negotiate. Even the Godfather, Trump, is trying to make a deal. Iran can't refuse. Bibi is a conceal. Oh my God. I kind of like your analogy though, Luke. Consigliere? Like the Godfather movie? Oh my gosh. I mean, how many times does Iran have to say that the missiles are not on the table, the proxies? And look, even from the latest, praising Hamas. Where is it? Oh my God. Listen to this one. The closed door, this is coming from the other side. The closed door meeting between U.S. President Donald Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu has begun. Due to the presence of protesters, the Prime Minister entered through a back entrance. Bullshit. That is such bullshit. Oh my God. Oh, they'll just spin anything they want to spin it as. Look at this. This is just a little while ago. New. This is, remember, this is coming from the regime media arm. The Hamas movement congratulated Iran on the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution and sent a message to the supreme leader, expressing their gratitude for his support throughout the years. Iran's security chief Ali Larijani, whatever his name is, informed Hamas that Iran intends to keep supplying it with funding, weapons, and diplomatic assistance, and that one day the resistance will undoubtedly prevail and liberate Palestine from its Zionist occupation. And this was the fuck you're supposed to negotiate with? Insane. Insane. So does that indicate any signs that they're going to stop money to the proxies and their goal is to destroy and eliminate, erase Israel? My God. I did have my volume low, you're right. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, I fixed it. I saw a Cyberpunk. I saw Cheyenne comment. Oh man, it's already been a long day, and I got a long day ahead of me. So again, I think this is I don't think we're going to get anything out of this right now. We're going to have to wait till later till we get comments, post from anyone. I don't think we're going to find out anything after this meeting immediately after. I don't. None. Maybe they'll say a few words, but that's about it. We're not going to find out much. And I said it here too. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has arrived at the White House and is currently in a closed-door meeting with President Trump, unusually entering the West Wing privately through the South Lawn directly into the Oval Office. Because they're trying to keep people away from, they're trying to keep this as private as possible. And you got to see the propaganda, what they're saying about it. Al Jazeera is a joke. Hamas official Mohammed Darwish says, this is 2 hours ago, says the group is committed to the ceasefire in Gaza and Israeli violations after meeting with top Iranian security official in Doha. Oh my God, the propaganda is sick. And the graphics they use it's sick. This is an interesting take, and I'll put this one up. This one I will share, what someone put on X. 90 million Iranians have their eyes on Netanyahu-Trump meeting. I would say, I don't know about 90 because there's quite a bit of people that support the regime. But it's a very high number of Iranians that are paying attention to what's going on right now. And it says it talks 2 minutes ago. Talks closed to press for now. And this is Netanyahu arriving earlier. As you can see. So that's when he arrived at the White House. Which in itself, it's just him. There's no escort. It's just him in that vehicle. Which is, I'm not even sure that that's accurate. I question that. Never know. Look. Here's another one of those posts. Look, this is such... Just look at the video and what the other side is putting out there. It's laughable. This is like worse than the mariachi video. Protesters are out in full force as Benjamin Netanyahu meets with Trump today. Look at them in look at it. Look at the number. They're out in full force. They're out in full force. That's full force, by the way. This is what the other side is putting out there. They're out in full force protesting against Netanyahu. Does that look full force to you? What is there, like 30 people tops? That's full force? Really? Really? That's full force. They don't even occupy the whole corner. But but that's what the other side is interpreting as full force. It's laughable. That's the propaganda. That's laughable. That's full force. They're out in full force protesting. That they had to tell Bibi to go through the back door because of the full force of protesters outside. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, it's laughable. And there's nothing else. And yeah, the president said that yesterday when a reporter asked, Iran cannot possess nuclear weapons or ballistic missiles. And that's when he said, I'm considering sending another aircraft carrier. So it's both missiles. This is before Netanyahu even arrived. That's on the table. The president stated it yesterday. There won't be a deal. There won't be a meeting. I'll be shocked if there's another meeting. Shocked. Oh, God. Again, here we go with the nonsense. I'm telling you, there is so much pro-regime propaganda on X. And even anarchists, communists, socialists, Marxists, they're all putting out crazy shit. Guys, this is what somebody wrote. I don't think Trump is running the U.S. military right now. I think it's Netanyahu is meeting with Hegseth today as the real commander-in-chief. Oh, my God. Oh. This should give you a fucking headache. I'm telling you, some people are really delusional. They have issues. I mean, the delusion is insane. It's oh my God. A senior advisor to the commander of Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps dismissed the U.S. military power on Wednesday, saying Washington would be unable to strike even if it deployed 12 aircraft carriers to the region. Oh my God. Iran International English is saying, Iran International has obtained information, it would be nice if they showed the information, alleging that senior Iranian diplomats transported large amounts of cash to Beirut in recent months, using diplomatic passports to move funds to Lebanon's Hezbollah. The transfers involved at least 6 Iranian diplomats who carried suitcases filled with U.S. dollars on commercial flights to Lebanon, according to the information. The cash deliveries form part of efforts to help Hezbollah rebuild its finances and operational capacity after sustaining significant blows to its leadership, weapon stockpiles, and funding networks. Those involved include, and the names, a former ambassador to Turkey, it's always Turkey, and senior foreign ministry official Mohammad Reza, I'm not going to try to pronounce the last name, a veteran diplomat and former consul general in Pakistan, his brother, and it names a whole bunch of people, and including a former Iranian embassy employee in Canada. This is what Iran International is reporting. So they're allegedly, this is, like I said, this is what they're reporting, that they're still funneling money to Hezbollah, which does not surprise me. So meanwhile, this stuff is going on. You know what I mean? How do you, I'll say it again. How do you, there is no deal. There is negotiating with them. Because meanwhile, we'll talk peace, we'll talk this, and they're still doing shit. It's all a delay for them, but it's also a delay for us. 7 hours ago, they also put, Iran negotiations have no authority to discuss missile capability in their talks with the U.S. A senior advisor to Supreme Leader Ali Asshole, who was recently appointed as the Secretary of Supreme Defense Council. That must be that Ali person. Oh, yeah, it is. Ali Shamkhani warned that war with the United States would not be limited to two sides and would extend in the region, Israel, and even attacking the other countries with U.S. bases. I mean, it's sickening. So what I'm going to do, oh my God. Do you want to see the nonsense that happened on the videos? Do you want to see? This is what they did today during their daytime, so it's hours ago. Look what they did. And this should, it's rage baiting, but it should piss everybody off. Okay? And they even have Reza Pahlavi there. Look. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Oh, fuck no. I'm done. I'm so done. I am so done. And I know it's rage baiting and all that bullshit. They're doing this in public. They're promoting this. It's time to put an end to this once and for all. I know it's easy to say, and there could be very serious consequences for all sides. But if you don't do nothing now... What, Mom?
If you see this, you gotta see this.
What is it?
Like a looking psycho.
He's sleeping on the bed, I bet, laid out.
With his legs like that.
I can only imagine. He's probably upside down on the queen bed in the master room like he owns it. I can imagine. My dog goes into the master bedroom, which nobody uses.
He's like that,
and he's like this.
Like a king.
On his back, out cold. He does that all. He has the whole bed. He's right in the middle. That's what he does.
Beautiful.
I agree. Time was up years ago already. You're right.
Just take a picture of him right now.
I know, Mom. You think Trump's going to negotiate with them? Absolutely not. That's all talk. It's just delaying. It's a delay tactic. Oh, you saw them too, Becky? Who the hell knows? Let's see. What else? Welcome back, Chaos. Chaos, I hope you got rest. And still nothing from the live feed from the White House. I may take a break and just wait to see if anything comes out later. Because just sitting here, it's really not doing much. Waiting for what? Waiting for maybe something that never is going to come out because they're not going to talk about anything. We'll get stuff maybe later. Yeah, there isn't. Clustered. Okay, tell me the fact, Shayan. Shay. I'll just say Shay. Yeah, there's the usual movement on Flight Tracker. You can't read too much into that. And nothing's going to happen with Netanyahu in the United States. Not from our part, not from Israel's part. Now, if Iran does something, that's different. But nothing's going to happen while he's here. But then again, you never know. They're together. They go to the Situation Room and hang out together, and you never know. There's a lot of air traffic out there. So I don't see anything till maybe at the earliest the weekend. At the earliest. And like somebody mentioned about the Voyagers out there, there's a lot of movement back and forth. C-17s, tankers, super galaxies, you name it. It's just constant. It just doesn't stop. The drone already landed from last night. It was out there for many hours. It's actually right here. It landed. It's back. It was out there for many hours, patrolling, monitoring. They'll probably put a Poseidon up. Jake is heading back. The rivet joint is in the area. There's all kinds of stuff going on. Another tanker. The typical stuff. What is that? Sam. Okay. I wonder who's on that. Where did that come from? A lot of tankers offshore. Oh my gosh. Actually, a lot going on offshore. And these are the big boys, the Pegasus. They're all Pegasus. Holy shit. That's a Mercury. This could be a C5. Yep, C5 coming back. Another super galaxy, and it's been doing that for the last few days. I don't know why, but again, the movement is constant, back and forth, going, coming. It's amazing actually how much movement. It's a lot of money too. Another C-17 inbound. So yeah, this is common. But it's been nonstop. It really has been nonstop. It really is incredible, the amount of movement. I don't know if Vance left yet. It's a good question. So Lane? Cluster, it's Lane? Am I pronouncing that right? Your dog sleeps like that too, Witch Moon? Keeping you company? I would like to get the infographic of assets in the Middle East. I have to pay for everything. Tell me about it. I've been seeing this white twin engine plane take off from Miramar every day. I hope it's not the Doomsday plane. You never know. Ian. Oh, it's Ian. I got you. He did leave. JD Vance left. He's on his way home right now. And hello, Grampus. I need to go out soon, and I got a show to do for a friend. 2-hour show I got to produce for him. Video. But I got to go out and get some Red Bull for the weekend. It could be, I may need some, because I get tired of drinking coffee, to be honest. I'm going to have to get a little Red Bull supply. Even if nothing happens this weekend, I'm going to need them at some point, because it's going to be nonstop. I will be, I'm already deprived of sleep right now. I can only imagine trying to stay up for hours and hours and hours and hours and streaming for maybe 12 hours, just trying to keep up with everything that's going on. not wanting to sleep because it could get like that. And I think many of you might share that as well. Could be some long days, nights ahead. And I say that from my perspective. I can't imagine what the people of Iran and the region and Israel. Oh my God. Just put yourself in their shoes. Just try to imagine. Maybe you can imagine. I can't imagine because I'll give you an example as an analogy. It's not even close by any means. But last year there was an earthquake here. I never experienced an earthquake in my life. It was only a 4.2 or 4. It was in Jersey, but the geographical makeup here is different on the East Coast where you can feel it in a longer distance. It's not the same here in the East because of the geological makeup. It's like a bell, boing, and it just keeps going because, like I said, it's about the geography. It's the geological makeup, the rock, all that. So even though it was in Jersey and I'm about 100-something miles away, we still felt it here. I can't even imagine. I never could imagine what it was like to experience an earthquake. And that's a 4 point, it's minor. I didn't like it. I don't want to go through that again. My house started to sway. It was only lasted 15 seconds. My house started to sway. And I always wondered what it was felt like. You know, like everything's moving. You hear the rattling. I was like, oh, hell no. And that doesn't even, I'm trying to say, I cannot imagine what it's like for those poor people, what they're going through and what they've gone through. I could not even imagine putting my place in their shoes. Can't. If it's a different thing to be there and know, living there all your life and experiencing that. I mean, if you're an Israeli, you were born into this, depending how old you are. This is something all your life. What a way to live. That constant threat and stress and tension and losing people you love and the same thing in Iran. Decades of oppression, uprisings, thousands lost, maimed, detained, executed. It's insane. It's really fucking insane. I can't, and I can't say it. I can't relate. There's no way I could relate to that. I can't even imagine what it would be like living under those conditions. Especially with the freedoms we have here in the United States, thank God. I don't go to bed worrying about missiles falling or terrorists or, I mean, we have our issues with crime and stuff. But I sleep well at night. I could sleep with this door open. Matter of fact, oh, it's locked right now. There's many times I have the doors open, everything. I'm not worried. Just on that. Not a way for people to live. People are human beings. They have every right, like everyone, to live productive, healthy, prosperous lives for themselves, their family, their loved ones, their neighbors, their community, co-workers, everything. Just think how many people out there, everywhere, are suffering. And me here, sitting here with materialistic things around me. Oh, I'm going to get the latest phone tomorrow. Like, those are the things we think about. These people are just literally trying to live and survive. water, food, medicine, safety, shelter, starvation. My God. Like right now, I didn't drink it with the coffee, but I have a cherry pie sitting here. It really makes me sad. You see the living conditions. And I'm not bringing this up, but if you look at Gaza, despite the political, you look at Gaza, it's completely rubble. How do 2 million people live there? How are they sustaining? And this is why, if Hamas wasn't there, what would life be like in Gaza right now? Or going back in time, the PLO, whatever. You remove that out of there, and who's responsible for this? Iran. Beirut, Lebanon, our troops. Who's responsible for this? Did they say, oh, we never attacked the country, but you had a hand in funding terrorism? I mean, this has to stop. This just has to stop. It has to fucking stop. Ashkan, I agree. I don't blame you, Shay. No one should have to experience what you're going through, or anyone like that. And that's true too. We will eventually find out the true massacre and heinous acts. I hope you're right. Shay says, I thank my parents for getting us out 40 years ago. They know how life will turn out to be. Exactly. Life in Gaza would be good. Does October 7th happen if Hamas wasn't there? The jihadists? Does it? You don't think that Palestinian people could live alongside Israeli people in peace? But who prevents that from happening? It's these fucking terrorist proxy groups, supported by, of course, Iran. The so-called resistance. They're responsible. It's so sad. It's tragic. Just think, I mean, children dying. They never even get a chance to have a life. They never even get to experience what life is. It's exhausted. Put out. Just think about that. They never even had the opportunity to experience things in life. Or young people, or any people. It is just, it's just beyond. I mean, how much can you say about it? It's disgusting. It's... And I got to go in a few minutes because I do have things to do, but I pray to God that this shit ends soon and peace comes to millions of people. I pray to God. I'm supposed to get a package, and the package has disappeared. Oh, it's coming today by UPS. You want to see what I bought? And then I'm going to get off because I got to go. I have things to do. Check out this mug I bought. I've got the shirt. I've got the flag. I've got the cap. This is coming today, UPS. You know, like I said, I've got the cap. I got the flag. I have a shirt. Free Iran. But I had to, one more thing. And it's coming today. And I'll show you. Then I'm getting off. I will be back later. Once we find out, if anything, the results, comments from Netanyahu and President Trump meeting. And you know you're going to hear a lot from the other side. You know the rhetoric is coming real quick. They're probably thirsty and dying to say something about it. The Zionist leader convinced President Trump to attack Iran. They'll come out with so much nonsense to flip it. So this is coming today. Might even be here. My coffee mug. I gotta have a coffee mug. Of course. I can't wait to get that mug today and drink my first cup of coffee out of it. You better believe that. Tusi's going on again? Oh, Tusi's having a busy day. Actually, I haven't had anything to eat. I could have lunch with Tusi. Yesterday it was breakfast with Tusi. Today it'll be lunch with Tusi. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. A no-fly zone over the Strait of Hormuz? I haven't heard about that. That's new to me. Oh, it's regarding the Canadian? Okay, got you. Allegedly, it was a transgender person. I can't confirm that, but that was a report I read. That's what I read. But he'll be on later. Look, he's probably waiting like I am. And so many other people, the result of the meeting between President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. He's probably doing this right now, but you know. And he's probably going to go over the 47th anniversary nonsense. Again, I'm hearing things about carriers as well from friends, and they're sending me information. You know, but he's waiting, and I may wait. I don't know. I don't like. Let them focus on what they're doing. You know what I mean? I don't want to be like I'm copycatting or mimicking. Do you know what I mean? I want to do my own thing. So I like, which I do. Kind of funny too, because in the morning when I do stuff, and then I watch Tusi, and Tusi's mentioning the same thing I mentioned earlier. It's like thinking alike. The man he's sharp. And like I said, I wouldn't be doing this Iran stuff if it wasn't for Tusi. He inspired me to do something as an American, to do something about it. To show that it's a global support. It's not just people that are Iranian, Persian, that there's many people out there in the world that support the Iranian people. It's not just Iranians or Persians. It's many, including the Israelis, you know, people from all walks of life. I think that's important to show unity. And it's also great to bring a community together like goes on in that chat. Despite we have clowns at times. But that's to be expected. But it's great to see how I see people here from all over the place. And it's beautiful. All over. Germany, UK, Scotland, everywhere. It's beautiful. So I think that's very important. I mean, look what's happening. I gotta go. Look what's happening Saturday around the world at these rallies that Reza Pahlavi has put out there. You can go on X and get more information in Munich, in Toronto, LA, because these are areas that have an Iranian population. But I'm sure it's happening in other places too. Maybe not New York City. And there is I would say, there's tens of thousands of Iranians that live in New York City and New Jersey. So there is Iranians. But if they go out there, then they got to deal with the other ones out there, the pro-Palestine ones, and they clash, and it's just nonsense. Nonsense. Like, get a life. Really, get a life. Love from Sweden. Look at that. And this is to the Iranian people. They're here for you. I'm here for you. They're here for you. And I can almost get emotional thinking of that way. They're here for you. We are here for you. We're here for the people of Israel because they also would love to live in peace as well. After freaking decades and decades. It's peace for millions and millions of people. That's the potential here. Finally, at last, after so much suffering and death. I mean, like I said, the thing that stuck in my head October 7th, and I know we have a friend here, Moses, who's in Surdot, whatever, I can't pronounce it right there. But what struck me, and I can get emotional, was seeing what happened at that fucking festival. When I started seeing the videos and the images, people gathered, young people, and I'm sure many of you seen that. That affected me. I'm not going to get overly emotional, but when I started seeing and abducting people and you know what eventually happened to many of those people? It was sick. It was heinous. It was inhuman. And I'm not there. I don't want to start crying, but I wasn't there. But seeing that, oh my God, we have to put an end to this. We have to put an end to this. And I don't know how anybody could justify any kind of action and defend something like that. I don't give a fuck if it's resistance. There is nothing that justifies that in any circumstance. Insane. Fucking sane. And I'm sorry for cursing, but it gets me so upset. You get a lot of mixed emotions going on. Angry, sad, is so much. And you can only imagine what the people of Israel go through and the people of Iran go through and all this. And then add on the racism, the xenophobic and the anti-Semitism. And even Iranians, decent Iranian people are being judged because they come from Iran and they're considered terrorists. This shit has to stop. It has to stop. Anyway, I'm going to get off now before I lose it. To everybody that's watching, be well, be blessed, be safe. Prayers. And I'll be back. Oh God, Bean. It's we'll pick up on this later because I really do have to go. You all try to just have a great rest of your day. Prayers to you, your families, neighbors, etc. And I'll be back after see things, certain things, information may be coming out. I think I wasted enough of all of your time. Ian, have a great one. Becky, Bean, Sean, yeah, Galia. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize. Helmet, check out the songs. Send me an email. Mary, everybody that's in here. You all have a great, Tammy, of course. Send my love to your husband. Tell him we all send our love and say hello. Eugene, I'm going up really quick. Of course, I said Shay. Save the British Soul. My Soul. Wayne. Of course, our friends in Iran. Friedman, Mobile, I'm going to say Ashkan, Grampus, Sacred, all of you. I'll be here like a half hour just reading all your names. Moses. Anyway, everybody, I'm out. I'll see you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Go watch Tusi's live soon.